So it is a new year. We're in 2024. And today we're going to talk about what my reading goals are for the year. So plans slash goals. And I really just want this year to be low stress, no stress. That's my theme going in. I'm going to continue on with a lot of things that I'm already doing, and then a couple things I'm adding in, and then a few other things I might be doing less of. So the first thing is obviously the channel focus is going to remain the same, horror, paranormal, fantasy, with a little bit of fiction and other stuff sprinkled in. But I also want to read more nonfiction because I used to read a ton of nonfiction before getting into booktube, and that's kind of fallen by the wayside and I miss it. So I want to set a goal to read at least one a month. It's doable. I feel like that's in the low stress, no stress. I can do at least one. And then I'm going to stick with doing also one manga per month as well, because that I did pretty good at. I think the only time I didn't stick to it last year was when I was hosting readathons for 2 months. And then also this coming year in October, I believe we're going to do the Occult Detective October again, which MJ from Reading This Life put together. So that was a lot of fun this past year. And it was a genre I hadn't really read a whole lot in. It got me into a bunch of weird stuff, which I love. So I will definitely be doing that again. And then also, I'm not 100% sure we're doing the cryptid readathon again, but if we are, I'm totally into that. So I would definitely like to do those two readathons. I don't do a ton of them because I'm like that weirdo that it stresses me out to do readathons because I feel like I can't be free with what I'm reading. Is that weird? I put unnecessary stress on myself. It's all in my head. But I can't do too many because I'm a mood reader and I like to be able to have that freedom to like grab a book when I want to and read something that I want. I also think I'm going to take on a few less arcs this year because at some point last year there was 1 month where I just took on so many it became a bit overwhelming, like being stressed that I had to get all these done and finished on time and then make sure I write a review and then have the review up on the channel. It was a bit stressful. We made all of them, we got them up, we got our deadlines in, but it still stressed me out a little bit. So I know a little better like how many I should be able to accept per month. It's all about, self-care, bringing the stress level down. So that's kind of what we're gonna do as an overall. I do think at some point I'd want to do some live streams. I'm still forming this in my head. Most people do reading sprints. I kind of want to do the vibe of where we do like a coffee talk, or have coffee, have tea, iced coffee, whatever your favorite beverage is. Heck, you can have a glass of wine, where we sit around and have like coffee talk where we chat about what we're reading. And it's kind of like if you were hanging out in a coffee shop with your friends who all read books, or a book club where you just talk about what you're reading and what's going on, and do that, and maybe do like a coffee talk hour. I don't know, like I said, I'm still kind of formulating it in my head and how I want it to go and what I want to do. If we'll have like topics to talk about and all that good stuff. And it could be anything. It could be talking about just like a genre, like horror, or we could talk about fantasy, or we could, talk about some of the drama going on in the book world that always seems to just keep coming up with people's hot takes about what you should or shouldn't do, how you should read, and whatever. I'm not the boss of you. No one's the boss of you. You read how you want to read. Some of these hot takes are ridiculous. I feel a lot of it is just for like controversy, clicks, I don't know, attention grabbing, attention seeking, and all that whatnot. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with those. I want to do something like that. And then maybe sprints too. I don't know. My goal with that is just to figure out what I want to do with that. As for reading goals this year, I set a goal of 75 books in Goodreads, and I have a reason behind why I set my goal there. 75 to the normal person would seem like a lot. On BookTube, a lot of us go above and beyond. I think this past year I read 142 books, which was the most I've ever read, which is insane. But I set it at 75 because I know I'll meet it. That's another thing. I don't want to stress myself out about a reading goal by being like 150. I'm not going to do that to myself. Why? Why would I do that to myself? I don't want to. I don't want to. But you can set whatever kind of reading goal you want. Like, if you want to press yourself, you can. If you don't, you can set your goal for like 2 books. 1 book. Who cares? If you read 1 book this year, I'm proud of you. That's freaking awesome. So I set it for 75. I know I'll meet that goal. I'll go over it. with the channel, with how much I read, that's just, I know it's a goal I can meet, and it's low stress, no stress. So, you know, that's how I roll. I don't want to stress myself out, and you shouldn't stress yourself out either. Like, you do you. However you feel about that, do what you want to do. And don't let anyone tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing. So to recap, I'm going to still do 3 videos a week, and we're going to stick with the main topics that I always do. It'll be a majority horror with paranormal, some fantasy, a few other genres sprinkled in, 1 manga a month, as well as a non-fiction a month. Possibility of live streams as soon as I figure out what I want to do with them. And then, you know, my Goodreads goal is 75 books, totally obtainable. The 2 readathons I plan to do, Occult Detective October, and if we are doing the Cryptid readathon, then I'm gonna do that again because that was awesome and a lot of fun. And, you know, just read weird books, be weird, and enjoy my time babbling and talking about books. So I'm curious, what are your goals for the year? What are your reading plans? Does goal setting and planning stress you out sometimes? Like, sometimes it stresses me out. That's why I wanted to do a low stress, no stress year. No unnecessary pressure. Let's enjoy what we're doing. Let's have fun. So let me know what your reading plans are for the year and how you like to set your year up. Are you like super planned down month to month, or you just kind of fly by the seat of your pants? I feel like I do a little bit of both. I have like a plan, but it's like a loose. It's super like loosey-goosey plan. It's got some structure, but I tighten in the structure as we go along and kind of figure it out. To me, that's more fun. Gives me a little more wiggle room, a little less stress. So that's the plan for the year. I had fun hanging out today. Hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.